Well, I've been doing this 10 years. And when you go to the clinic, you're in a chair with needles in your arm and all of that, and you see a lot of stuff going on in the clinic. First of all, I would like to say that I am incredibly grateful to the people who work with me 3 times a week, and they have a very hard job. Not just physically hard. It's physically hard. They're
Right.
on their feet the whole time they're there, but it's also a very hard job emotionally.
Yeah.
Because people die on dialysis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've witnessed people dying, and right there in the chair, next to me or a couple of chairs down, and they deal with this on a constant basis.
Right.
And I just want to say how much I appreciate their hard work. Most of them are very knowledgeable, really more knowledgeable than the doctors on some things.
Oh, sure.
And I just want to say how much I appreciate them and all that they do for all of us. I know here in Springfield there's something like 500 people on dialysis.
Wow.
In all the different clinics
Sure.
and stuff. Second, if you know someone on dialysis, don't just assume because they look normal. I mean, looking at
Right,
me,
right.
you couldn't tell any difference.
Absolutely.
That things are going normal for them. This is tough stuff sometimes.
Sure.
There are days when I get home and barely crawl into bed.
Yeah.
That's about all I can manage, and I'm on the higher function end of things.
Well, I imagine it's quite isolating for many individuals.
There's a lot of things that happen in my church and things that I can't participate in because that's on a dialysis day and I can't do that. And most people are that way.
Yeah.
So you maybe go out of your way a little bit to include a dialysis patient in whatever you're doing and that sort of thing.
Reschedule things around their schedule instead of
what they can do instead of what you want to do maybe. That would be greatly appreciated by a lot of dialysis patients.
Yeah, and I really think the individuals working in the clinics like that, like you're saying, definitely a good group to keep in prayer because
absolutely
for many of us, I mean, we don't even experience death very often at all. Some of us may not have ever, we maybe have a relative that's on their last days, we're with them or something like that, but could you imagine going into work where that day you may have someone, like you said, dying in the chair?
You never know.
And there's no way of knowing, and you're developing those friendships with them and joking with them and all that, and then the next time they're there,
it's tough having somebody that you knew and loved as a friend die in front of you.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah, and that's so we definitely need to pray for those individuals and for those that are going through the treatment as well as those that are doing that, because that is emotionally draining. Anyone that's had a job with a lot of emotion can understand that. I imagine there are some that don't experience a lot of emotion, may not understand it, but emotional draining can be more draining on you than physical because
to my point of view, this is probably about as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Maybe in a nursing home situation would be worse.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're in the hospital and if you're working in a hospital and someone dies on you, you might have known them 3 or 4 days.
Right.
These guys, I've got people that I've worked with for 10 years.
Sure.
That have worked with me, I should say.
Right.
For the whole time I've been there.
Oh yeah.
And they're quite close friends.
Sure. Yeah.
And
you're spending a lot of time there, so you're going to develop that.
I've watched some of them's kids, pretty much grow up.
Sure.
Sure. So,
Yeah, and I think you're right. It is one of the hardest ones, or one of the hard areas, because I know my sister works in a nursing home, and she definitely has individuals that go to be with the Lord and that, but it is, somewhat expected. I mean, they are on their last years and stuff. It's hard, but, they know that, but to be at a treatment place that you're helping someone, And yet, when they're coming in for help, they may not make it that day.
Right.
That does make it a lot harder,
Right.
I think. Where you're
Right.
not, you're definitely wanting this to be a different outcome, and there's
Yes.
no control over it.
Yeah.
You're doing what you can, and it's not enough sometimes. And so, yeah, that's definitely.